Is a time where we invite you to sing along. Sing as if no one is watching. Sing as if you are the queen or the king in the shower, and fabulous as always. We will have slides for you to follow along on the service. So please join with us. We welcome in our Shabbat angels. Shalom Alechem, Malachi Sharet, Malachi Elyon. Mimelech, Mimelech, Melchim, Melchim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon. Mimelech, Barchuni l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon. Mimelech, Mimelech, Melchim, Melchim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon. Mimelech, Mimelech, Melchim, Melchim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yalalai, 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 yalalai. Join with me. Utsu etza vehetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel. Let's take it from the top. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel. Utsu etza. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Here we go. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel. Utsu etza vetufar, dapru davar velo yakum. Ki Immanuel.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and happy Purim. We want to extend Purim as long as we can into Shabbat because it's Purim. And, it's been a hard year. And even so, we are still coming together to celebrate and to remind ourselves what's most important, our connection with each other, our ability to laugh, joy. And so we have a special evening planned. It's, as you can see in the little screen that has the schedule, we're doing an abridged service this evening with the key elements and a little bit of Purim flavor. And then we'll have the opportunity to have a Shabbat dinner theater experience with the Bible players who will lead us in an interactive experience of a comedy show with the themes of Purim. And so it will really be a wonderful evening together. One of the most fascinating, maybe even disturbing, but interesting quotes in the Talmud about Purim is that it says that on Purim, one should get so intoxicated that they cannot tell the difference between blessed Mordechai and cursed Haman. And we won't even go into what might be problematic about this statement, but one of the great Hasidic masters, the Nitivot Shalom, says that the intoxication really doesn't refer to alcohol, but it refers to a way that we can go in our minds to go beyond judgment, Judgment is really important in our lives. It keeps us being able to make choices between good and bad, right and wrong, people that are good to be with, others that aren't. But judgment also can be a barrier to our own connection and engagement with life, with ourselves, with our most intimate relationships. Because really what we want to be and what Shabbat is inviting us to be is to be whole with ourselves, to be whole in our relationships, to be whole with God. And judgment in our relationship, can put people into boxes that keeps us separate and distant from them when we don't really want to be separate and distant. It can also, I'm getting this echo here. It also, with ourselves, we can be very judgmental of our own being and not inside us the real depth and let's see, my echo. All right, I'm gonna keep going. We can't see the depth and the goodness and what's possible for us because we're holding ourselves into a box. And so on Purim, the invitation is to be able to, at least for one day, get a taste of what it's like to go beyond judgment, to be able to see that God is hidden in ourselves, in all of the things in our lives, that even the word Megillat Esther, the scroll of Esther, really means, Megillah is another Hebrew root that means to reveal, and Esther also means hidden. So to reveal what is hidden is another way of translating Megillat Esther, or the book of Esther. So the way that we reveal what's hidden is to be able to suspend our judgment. And Shabbat invites us into that wholeness, invites us into the willingness to be, to just simply be, to be a human being, not a human judging. So that's what I invite us in our brief service this evening, is to really settle into that Purim space that goes beyond duality and embraces the oneness that we're a part of. It's my pleasure to invite up the Pincus family to light candles with us. And Irving and the Pincuses, along with Cantor Young and myself, Rabbi Kavod Weeder, will be your guides for this evening service. So unmute yourselves. Irving, you got to unmute yourself. Yeah.
There you go. I got it. All right, we figured it out. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishem b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Wait. Sorry. B'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahita lachadlif ner shil Shabbat.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Irving. What we're going to move right into the main body of our service. So we invite everybody to stand for Baruch Hu as we bless together and move into the Shema.
Please be seated. Open up our eyes. Teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name. We will know that you open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name. We will know that you are one. We will know that Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please join us with Vishamru. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש, שבת וידפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
I think all of us can agree that that the center of the Purim story is Esther. Esther, the name that means hidden. And there is a turning point in the story where Esther moves from being a passive character to being an active one. For the first part of the story, she is just Mordecai's niece or Mordecai's cousin. She moves along, she goes into the palace when she's asked, she plays it quiet, she plays it safe. And she doesn't really act of her own agency. She's almost like a pawn in this larger game. And then there's a moment where Mordecai comes and tells Esther, has a message delivered to her up in the castle and says that Haman has this plan to kill the Jews and you have to do something. And her first response is that same passiveness, that same powerlessness. She says something like, you know, if I go to the king, the law is that anybody who goes to the king unasked for will be killed. And not only that, the king hasn't even asked for me for 30 days. She says, basically, I can't do anything. And Mordecai says something to her that is core. He says, do you think that just because you're in the palace, just because you're in here, that you can escape death or fate? Do you think because you're in your place of privilege that eventually what's going on here won't come and affect you also? He says, trust me, if you don't act right now, deliverance for the Jews will come from another place, and you and your family will perish. And in that moment right there, he says, so who knows? Then he says something very core. He says, who knows? Maybe it was for this crisis that we are in right now that is why you were put here in this particular position. That there may be even a purpose behind why you find yourself here. And it's in that moment right there that Esther acts. And the next line is she takes action. She immediately mobilizes. She says, go gather the Jews. Let's have a fast day. I will prepare to talk to the king. She makes this switch because Mordecai invites her to see that, that the fact that she has what she has a purpose. It's not for nothing, that she has a role to play. And there is a calling that she is called for. And each one of us also have our own calling. We have our own way to step up and be able to take action in our lives, whether that has to be in relationships, in telling somebody something that we need to say, or whether that means stepping up in our own relationship with ourselves and what some of our goals are, or whether it means stepping up in this larger world and country and saying, this is what needs to happen. Purim, part of the story of Purim, the revealing of the hidden, is revealing our own calling. And that's, as we move into our silent Amidah, we'll start off with this line from the book of Esther that we can sing together, and then have some quiet time to reflect. But want us to reflect, in what ways do we need to speak out in our own lives?
Ooh, 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 ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה וששון ויקר. ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה וששון ויקר. כן תהיה לנו, כן תהיה לנו, כן תהיה לנו, כן תהיה לנו. We ask you to reflect on the following prompt. Has there been a time in your life where you have found the courage to speak out even when it was difficult? Is there someone who inspires you that embodies courage and strength?
And in addition to reflecting on these questions, you can also think about, is there a place that you need to speak out right now? And what could that look like?
Be the light inside the darkness, be the hope, burning bright into the night, be the voice for those who cannot raise it, be the one who leads the way through the world's darkest days, be the light, be the light. Be the light. to transform darkness into light, to lead with love instead of might. We shine, we shine. Be the light, be the light inside the darkness, be the hope burning bright into the night, be the voice for those who cannot raise it, be the one who leads the way through the world's darkest days, be the light, be the light, be the light. Be the light. Be the light. Be the light.
We now have the opportunity to offer blessings of healing for those people in our lives that are struggling with physical illness, mental illness, or addiction. Want to invite you to put the names of people that you'd like to include in our healing circle in the chat. And then when we sing the Misha Berach together, you will have the opportunity to direct those prayers to those people in our community that need it.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So beautiful. Thank you, Kim. We have a lot of exciting things coming up this week. We hope that you'll take this opportunity to join us either on Wednesday or Thursday if you have not participated in one of our virtual salons. This is an opportunity to share your voice and reflect on the work that our committee has done over this past year, and we'd love to get your feedback on that. So you can join our strategic council meeting either Wednesday evening from 7 to 8:30 or Thursday from 12 to 1:30. Then next week we have our Refugee Shabbat. If you think the Exodus is ancient history, let me tell you a story. We will have an opportunity next week to hear from some of our fellow congregants who will share their unique experience of their exodus to the U.S. It should be a really wonderful Shabbat.
And then we have something very new that we hope that everybody will give a try and check out. It's the Pathfinders program. And this is really an opportunity to think more deeply about how you want to engage, how you want to grow Jewishly at Temple Bethel. And you'll get to work with a guide in a more intimate gathering to create your own Jewish growth plan. It's going to be a really wonderful opportunity to get to know other people pretty well and also reflect on your own process and your own goals and desires. It will be Sunday, March 7th, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and also Tuesday night, March 9th at 7 p.m. So you can either go to one or the other. Please stand as we conclude our service with Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liyotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoya haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegora leinu kechol hamonam, vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malkei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lamelech ol kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Ushemo echad. You may be seated. This week we are in the Shloshim period, recalling loved ones who death has recently taken from us, of Marty Stein, our member, and husband of our member, Linda Stein, our member, Phyllis Duhan, and Marvin Weiss, the father of our member, Jill Drexler. We're also commemorating the following yahrzeits: Ira Adler, Lenore Iron, Monty Binder, Solomon Blumenfeld, Pearl Bornstein, Francis Disman, Beth Urvace, Hyman Fink, Bren Femmer, Henry Frischmuth, Seymour Gelman, Hy Gerber, Solomon Gerlitsky, Francis Hoffman, Bertha Kaplan, Arnold Kartzenell, Ruth Keith, Bernard Klein, Isidore Costa, Mort Krause, Abe Levin, Ann Lieberman, Harold Manisevic, Edward Maskett, Sybil Michaelman, Harold Norman, Charles Parmet, Rose Pazornik, Shlomo Perez, Alan Perlow, Herbert Phillips, Sonia Rappaport, Emmanuel Reiser, Irving Rosen, Bernard Rudolph, Joseph Shapiro, George Joseph Siegel, and Gerald Warshawski. If there's anybody that wasn't listed here for Yahrzeit, please put the name of your loved one in the chat and we'll include them in our prayers. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah v'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. It's our pleasure now to invite Irving to lead us in Kiddush. And if you have cups of wine or juice at your home, we're segueing right here into our Shabbat dinner experience. So after Irving and the Pincus family lead us in Kiddush and Motzi, blessing the bread, then we'll be able to sit down to our dinners before our 7 o'clock unkosher comedy show. Go ahead, Irving.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pori hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher Kishai b'mitzvotav, v'ratzav anu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'achava uvratzon, kin hilanu, zikaron lema'ase, v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikraye kodesh, zicher litziat mitzrayim, kivanu, v'acharta ve'otanu, Kidashta mikol chamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'achava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Beautiful. Okay, keep unmuting yourself. You can lead us for Hamotzi, for the blessing on the bread.
Okay.
Na 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 na.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Hamotzi.
Hamotzi lecha min haaretz.
Amen. Beautiful. Shabbat shalom, everybody.